Hello, hello. Hello, 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 hello. It's me. I'm back. Give me 1 sec to pull up all the relevant stuff. Yeah, here we go. This is not it. Let's switch the overlay anyways. Look at this. This is not related to the GitHub meetup. What is this? Ansel? Empty folder, Ansel. Created. I'm just now looking at it. 921. It doesn't look familiar to me. But it's okay. We don't sweat the small stuff. Not yet anyways, until it really comes back to bite me. Yeah, welcome back. Today what we're going to be working on is this thing, whatever this is. Where did I leave off? I should probably check my git commit history just to make sure I didn't grossly forget something. So we were at this point. So we have fighting options, and then these options just kind of auto-populate as expected. Okay, cool. Cool. And then that was inside of battle screen. So, okay. Hide right containers, and then these are all connected to all the relevant things on attack skill pressed. This is one of the callbacks for the buttons. Yeah, okay, it's coming back to me. Just had to give the old brain a little refresher. Add skills to a battle screen. Seems unlikely. I feel like I'm missing a few steps. Yeah, and then we also had the menu. Yeah. And you also have the ability to mouse control for whatever reason, and then you can select whatever. Nice. Cool, and it's still all pixel perfect. And then whatever you hover over doesn't matter with your mouse. I don't know why you would ever need to mouse control, but I guess it does make it easy for me to implement like touch controls. But that's like way in the future. Not even a consideration at this point in time. Not even a consideration. Let's see. Something I want to do is go to base. Well, I think this is like control, right? So control has focus. Or is there like a focus callback? Emitted when the node gains keyboard focus. How about just like regular focus? Or I suppose that would be hover, huh? Focus entered. So what we can do, what happens currently is whenever you start up the application, you go to start a battle by talking to this person, right? You can see that the menu on the right does not auto-populate. I feel like it should just like auto-populate like this, maybe. Or maybe not. Maybe it should like push your focus all the way to the right. And then you can unselect the menu if you want by going back. Something like that. Need to think about it. But that should be auto-populating for sure. Or pretty much all those options need to be auto-populating, huh? I wonder. So these are all the buttons, right? So on, pressed, right? But then we have focus entered, focus exited. So when it gains keyboard focus, suppose when you click on it, it automatically gains keyboard focus, huh? So we can do this. Tap. Let's do this. Can't I can create a temporary array just to loop over things really, really quickly. So if I do for each, here, these are buttons, but button in new, a new list of buttons, right? Made up of, I forget. How do you do this? How do you create just a generic list really quickly like that? Oh, okay. It's basically just var args. Right. So bag option run. Can you do this? No? Constructor that takes 4 arguments. Can I do this? I don't, maybe not. Can I do, let's just start, let's keep trying things until they work. It's always worked out for me. It's a strategy that has served me fairly poorly before, until now, but don't let that stop me. Menu buttons is equal to new list of. How do I initialize a list? C# creates list with values. Yes. Quick way to create list of values. Arrays. Oh, okay. Well, no, that's Java. New list of. Oh, that's how you do it. That's how you do it. I knew there was a way. And that's in C#3. I'm pretty sure I'm on C#5. So I should be okay. I should be okay. Okay, cool. Neat. Attack, back, option, run. There we go, cool. So we can do button, connect. Pretty much everything we did above, but now with 75% less repetition. Oh no, okay, hold on. Hold on. On attack pressed. So what's the difference between these? Attack container. Okay, so let's come up with a novel solution. Or does this have to be? Does this have to be hard coded? If only because the callbacks are different. I think it might have to be. Yeah. It might have to be manual. That's unfortunate. Well, I guess if we just do it on the generic stuff, right? So focus entered, right? Focus entered, we can do on. Left button, focus entered. Right. And then we don't need to call the other callback, which is focus exited. Yeah. Region. That's not how you do it. Region. all buttons and region. Then we'll do grab this callback on left, button focus entered. Just trying to keep organized. Trying and failing, of course, but very slowly. Ooh, okay, hold on. We can pass in this thing as an argument, right? So array binds, so it'd be new Godot collections array of, I guess, whatever the button is. That's something I actually, it took me a while to figure out how this syntax work, or like how would you even use this syntax, but now I get it. And now that I get it, it's actually like super sick. Yeah, so, oh, but that doesn't help me at all. That doesn't help me at all. Maybe it does, because now I can trigger just a random on pressed kind of thing. So on focus entered, we can do button dot pressed, and then this will fire a signal, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is okay. Pressed is equal to true. Is that okay? Is that how you do it? So those should be hooked up properly. If it works how I think it works, then boom. No, okay, it doesn't work how I thought it works. It's okay. How do I store internal button states without having to create a custom class? That's what I'm trying to avoid doing that. If I can do that, this would make things a lot easier. Focus entered. So that button pressed, and then what was the tooltip? Button state is pressed means the button is pressed down or toggled. Only works if toggle mode is true. Setting press will result in toggle to be omitted. If you want to change the pressed state without emitting that signal, toggled, hold on, toggled, hey, base button. That's the pressed virtual function emitted when the button is toggled or pressed. Can't I do this then, right? Emit signal, and then just kind of manually fire the press signal like that. I don't usually have to do that, but for whatever reason, I'm feeling like making a few workarounds for this one specific case. No, okay, cool. Neat. Okay, and then we can just do grab focus, focus entered. I wonder. So that should have fired immediately, but it didn't. So grab focus, grab click focus. Hey. Come to focused mode, but a grab focus does not emit the appropriate signal, I think. So we can instead do just a manual pressed call. That should take care of the initial menus. I think I should really be using a button group, but I'm not. It doesn't work because I guess like I don't even need to do that, huh? I can just do on attack press, just call this manually here. That's a lot easier, huh? So immediately grab focus, And then also just pretend like we pressed it. Nice. Actually, that didn't work at all. Because... Oh, because there's no buttons? Maybe? Hey. That shouldn't make a difference, right? On attack pressed, we hide right containers and then we just show the attack container. And then this one is attack container get child. Oh yeah, this should be shown. It's just not shown for whatever reason. Oh, it's because of this. Hide right containers. Okay, but we can just do attack press like that, right? This is my bad. I forgot the other function call right after it, which hides all the containers on the right. Okay, cool. Neat. Okay. So that's that. Then there's a few things we need to do before we can start working on the fancier aspects of the battle system. So menu control, that's in the bag. Easy. Talking about bags, actually. Player data. So that's your current team, which is just made up of random units. Still trying to decide whether or not I want to have a more complicated structure around that, or if this is okay. Load data, save data, we don't need that. Player data. What other things do I have here? It's just player data, huh? And then also the fact that battle units contain their own data as well. Well, I don't know. Let's just create random models for now. So item CS, right? Entity, no, this is not an entity. This is just in model namespace here. So public class, just in item. Yeah. As a placeholder for now. So this is your team. Then you'll have, it won't be a, should it be a list? I guess it should be a list of just items. Or maybe it makes more sense to have like a map. Is it called a hash map and hash set? Actually, isn't it in C# it's called a dictionary? Yeah. So a dictionary of, I guess just like string name to item model. So string to item. And so this is bag is equal to new, whatever the heck this is. And then have the public interface. Bag is equal to, well, it's not equal to, but it's just a get set. But not even a get set, it's just the get. Oh, hello knock. Oh, thank you very much for the tier 2 subscription. Is my thing broken? By the way. Hey. Oh no, it's not broken, it just doesn't listen to it doesn't listen to it. Hello knock, how are you doing? Thank you very much for the yet another tier 2 subscription. Much appreciated. Thanks for hanging around. Discord's being a bit slow, so I'm not sure if the bot's actually running. But how are you doing today? Alright, the bot's running. It also posted a notification appropriately. Interestingly enough. We'll see if it keeps working or not. How have you been? I've been doing okay. I've been doing okay. Could be better. Could be a lot worse. It's been a weird couple of weeks. Motivation to work on this has dropped to rock bottom. No, it's weird. It's weird. Having like real work to do. But it's like, it's a good thing. I was looking for some new stuff to do. But at the same time, it's like, it's weird having to juggle a few things at once, if you know what I'm saying. I'm also trying my best not to completely incriminate myself at this point in time. For reasons. Wait, what? Yeah. Well, you know how like when you usually get a new job, you're supposed to quit your old one? So, I'm not saying I have both, but I'm not saying that I have both. So this, your bag has items. I guess we'll just add like a test item for you. Yeah, because it doesn't make any sense to just have gold, but I'll give you a, if it's new data, I'll just give you a new item. You know, I sort of figured you weren't. Yeah. Maybe, possibly. You may or may not be correct. But I can neither confirm nor deny those allegations against me. I'm not sure how to do this, by the way. But it's weird having to... It's like I'm actually like doing real work, like consulting work again. Because in the past, right, you just have to try to juggle scheduling meetings, but then in the current situation, it's like I can't tell people I can't. So then you're thrust into a situation where you're like holding 2 sets of earbuds to each ear and just kind of like listening for your name on one of the calls. And then just hoping that like the 2 people don't call on you at once. It's a bit weird. It's a bit weird, for sure. I guess this could just be like a regular string, right? Since I'm going to be setting this to an actual item. Hold on. That's not how you do it. So we'll call it var test item is equal to new. No, but it's weird. It's weird. Completely unrelated, but did you know that, at least in the US, you aren't allowed to pay into 2 401ks at the same time, which is the standard retirement thingy in the US. I'm not sure how it is in other countries, to be honest. Yeah, random fact, which means it's weird, but I figure my workload, also completely unrelated to any other job prospects, is that workload should be shifting after Christmas, after I get rid of all my PTO. Can't recall how it is here. Fair enough. Fair enough. Test item. Guess we'll just have the item name. So there's public string item name. And so also, by the way, what I've decided to pivot to with this game, I'm not sure if you remember that, but I had like a game idea a while ago, back before I did the entire GD Lisp thing. So the entire programming language thing. It was like, it's basically like, what if Magic was programming, and then you would, you know, be able to create your own spells by using the some sort of DSL. So here's the idea. is that because the theme of the game jam is bug, what if we keep everything that I have here? We keep the same structure, right? We keep the same structure, more or less, but we incorporate the theme, so that's not just kind of a narrative element. Now it's like an actual fighting element. So you, the player, are able to modify skills on the fly, and so that's how that's how I will incorporate the theme of bug into the game, because it's programming. It's programming. You're writing bugs, but then you can also just use the skills as they like normally were meant to be used. Something like that. Something like that. For a game jam game, I think I can make it fairly easy. This is the idea of the DSL for now, which is just like if you have a slash skill, we'll just have to define several things, several modifiers, and then just do like a very, very basic parse. So there's almost no syntax. Or pretty much all syntax is fine. If it doesn't work, then we just ignore it. I only have so much faith in it. Yeah, I think I'm going to go less on the narrative elements, to be sure. I was thinking about it one night. I have no confidence in my writing ability to make this good. So let's instead pivot. So I already had like a short design doc built up for this. Magic is code private repository. We'll get back to it at some point. That was 7 months ago though. That's crazy. But yeah, the idea is there. It's written down on a piece of paper, on a dead tree, if you will. Because I'm apparently still like a very old person. Yeah. Easy enough, probably. Probably. How much time is left? It's until December 1st, so I have 2 weeks left. I have a decent amount of time. Item usage.cs. Model. So this still a pretty good amount of time. And I'm pretty much only doing this just so I can force myself to finish as well. Should be doable. Yeah, I think I don't know. Because of how I'm doing it, right? Because the parsing is just a basic top to bottom, left to right parse. I think it should still work in terms of like gameplay, in that it's very fault tolerant. And because of, I guess, the programming model I'm going with. So let me draw it out, right? In Paint. So I think if we do it like this, so there's the concept of basically an execution context. Right. And with this, we'll just add things. So you'll have squiggle, 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 whatever. And then we'll parse from left to right, top to bottom. Basically standard English syntax. Right, and as we go from left to right, top to bottom, we just keep adding things to the execution context. So the execution context will have things like, it'll have, you know, have you met the basic requirements to even generate a skill? Or, yeah, basically generate like a valid skill. So we'll have various checks. So like, you know, if charge is greater than some number, right? If charge is greater than 5, then we can continue on with execution. And then there's various DSLs that contribute to charge time, lower charge time, etc. And so we kind of just build the execution context from scratch every single time. Maybe not every single time. Maybe we can just like pre-calculate it or something, but that's still up for not debate, but it's still up in the air, you know. That's the idea though. If charge is greater than 5, then we'll move on to the next step. If target is valid or whatever, then we can branch off further. So like if it's valid, then we'll go here. Otherwise, maybe we'll go to like, you know, it's a big flow chart. I have it all kind of written down, and also like a decent chunk of it in my head. Yeah. So there's the yes, and then of course no, which breaks all rules of known flowcharting. Goes straight up, so no, and then you know, skill fails. Like a tree walk interpreter, but not a tree. Yeah, something like that. What's a tree walk interpreter? Is this something I should know? Tree walk interpreter. Dollar tree walk-in interpreter is one of the Google results. GD Lisp is on. Is it? I still don't really understand how that works. GD Lisp is a tree walk interpreter in that it's... Is it? Oh, it's because it's just building up the logic. It's the most basic type of interpreter. Hooray! I'm not that smart. Nice. A target is valid, then we'll, I don't know, calculate something, do stuff. And that parses the syntax into an AST and walks down running each node. All right, nice. Something like that. Something like that. What I was more thinking, it's not really an AST, right? It's more like there's, like the execution context, you can think of it more as just like a struct. And then once we, you know, we parse the entire skill until we can't parse it anymore, and then we'll just hit execute. And then we'll just check all the values. So it is, I don't think it's even that. I don't think it's even, yeah, more of an ASL. What's an ASL? It's an ASL. I know what a DSL is. ASL? ASL programming. Interpreter. No, that's American Sign Language. Abstract syntax list is not a real thing. Ah, okay. You got me. Yeah, so we just parse it into a list. If we're able to parse it all the way through, then that's cool. If we're not able to, that's still okay. We check the values at the end of the execution and then see where we're at. I think that makes sense. Deathball port is going well. Hooray! For animals bashing into structures and freeing their animal brethren. I'm up to setting up levels. I want to see. Oh baby, is there a YouTube or is there an itch.io page? Yeah, how would I see? Would you be able to push it onto Discord? Itch.io, YouTube. I can add you to the repo and you can clone and run. Oh baby. Everyone loves repos. Yeah, sure. If you're willing to share, we can do it live on stream. You know, small streamer gets hacked live on stream. I'm down for it. I'll keep an eye out for it. Let's see. Item usage. I don't know, there's like key items. Yeah, you know what? to do. Add more enums. Yeah, so test item dot item name is equal to test item. What other things will we have? We'll have an item usage. So this is basically a struct. Yeah. Oh, wow. Look at that. Outing your GitHub profile live on stream. Let's get distracted just to keep my morale high. So this is macro quad, rapier. Okay. Neat. And on the latest edition at Rust, I see. Alright, get cloned. It's not like it's the same username. I don't see names. Sorry. That's very namist of you. Get clone deathball. Don't remember where shift insert is on this keyboard. Alright. This might be a bit dangerous, actually. I don't know what a just file is. What the heck is a just file? Is this like a cargo... It's like a make file, but like cooler? Hey. The heck is this? It's like make, but stupider? Yeah, I can tell. Never heard of a just file. Compiles the WASM though, so that's cool. These all appear to be PNGs. Should probably be running this in a VM, but that's okay. All you need to do is hit cargo run release. What if I don't want to have release level performance? I don't know. Let's send it, I guess. Instead of auditing the code. Cargo. What, do you not trust me? Maybe. I suppose you have been subscribed for a little while, so it's okay if you hack me just a little bit. Install a Trojan, etc., etc. Get back on my sub money. Oh no. Cargo run release it really quickly, I guess. And then hopefully be really quick on the Control C button. Ooh, manually defining sprite sheets. That sounds painful. Doing a really quick skim. Actually, just look at the imports, right? Generational index. Hey. Basically, I'm just looking for anything that accesses my file system. That should probably be fine. Not really there. Tiny sprite sheets. Oh, yeah. Oh, is this like a camera zoom factor? Oh, look at that. Look at that. That's neat. It is also a square. Good to see that the camera also works in the same way. Resize? Oh, I could resize it. Oh, there we go. Not sure what will happen, TBH. It seems to work pretty well. Ooh, the acceleration on the attack is pretty substantial. How did you get the animations to port over? Did you just redo the attack animation? And also, is the manually camera panning should be fixed? Yeah. It works in almost the same way, but it's better than my idea, which is what I meant. A manual attack animation. Is the targeting logic also the same? As in, like, the enemy will only chase the first animal it targets until it runs out of range. Nice. This is actually pretty cool. Didn't fix that. It shouldn't be hard to fix that. Since it's just a, you know, all you need to do is just check for the nearest animal. every few frames or so forehead. Yeah, seems cool. How far out does this go? Or is the background just set to this color of green forever? It was honestly harder to copy it exactly. Was it really? I suppose. This is cool though. Macro quad. Yeah, there we go. Dead code. Very good. Try running in browser. I could. How do I do that? Isn't the just... How do I use a just file? I want to see if it works. What? Install just. Do I want to? Is that something I want to do? What are the cargo commands again? Cargo, search, just. Just the command parser. Cargo install just. Well, I'm not really in the business of just installing random stuff. I think this is already running this random code. I'm sorry. You never know. You never know who's gonna be out there trying to get you to run just random garbage. I'm gonna install a Bitcoin miner on my system, which actually might not be a horrible idea if you can get me to do it. The computer is pretty beefy. Oh, this is like a direct port. What the heck? Why would you do this to yourself? Public mod groups. So this is just the group's constant, right? And that's how you do checking to see like which thing you're colliding with. Isn't there a better way to do this in Rust? Or at least Rapier? Seems a bit strange. Yeah, isn't this stuff, or is that not it? These are the various groups that you're using to probably check to see what is colliding into what. Behavior is ported. Code is my own. This is the approach I chose. Okay, isn't that how I did it though? I think I did the same thing, didn't I? I don't know. Let's check. That's why I saw it and I was like, wait a minute. That looks familiar. App manager. Nope. Don't I have a groups thing somewhere? It's not here. Is it here? Yeah. Yeah. And we'll go back to here. Get outed, son. Look at that. One of these. Player, enemy attacking. Oh, actually, no. Isn't animal is player, enemy is enemy. I guess you have buildings. Maybe I'm not. I honestly mostly ignored your... Okay, that's fair enough. They're not exactly the same. It looked familiar though, which is why I pointed it out. That's cool though. Neat. Yeah, that's really cool. That's really cool. Well, yeah, I'm glad my game was inspirational enough for you to attempt a port. Or at least a re-implementation, shall we say. Not a port, since you're not really looking at my code. So I can figure out to work with Rapier. It's fun to learn. Okay. Was it easy to use? Relatively? It looks like it's really powerful, but... Item usage. Get set. Easier than expected. Okay. Yeah, I think The thing for me right now is I just don't want to work with any tooling that isn't visual. I have enough of that at work right now. I miss the days of having visual tooling. Didn't know that kinematic bodies didn't collide with things. Interesting. Well, isn't it because you're supposed to manually calculate? You're supposed to manually calculate every single collision with a kinematic body. It means rigid bodies are super massive. What does that mean? If they were super massive bodies, aka your mom, wouldn't that mean? I actually don't know what that means. Look at the enemy code. All right, let's look at the enemy code. Enemies RS probably. Enum status. Ooh. Look for new. Probably this one. Scroll down a little bit. Oh, nice comment. Blow it up for the entire class to point at and laugh. 142. Yeah. Mass. Oh, it's just like a very, very heavy body. Oh, you meant like it was really heavy. Not that it was really big. I suppose, yeah, that is what massive means, isn't it? Or that's one definition of massive, is that it has a lot of mass. I took it the other way, as in like massive, as in like it's really big. Yeah. You think massive? Yeah, that's. I thought it just meant that it's like it's pretty big. It's a very large in size, you know, very large lad. Not that it had a lot of mass, but. Like, so would you call like a piece of lead massive? That's the question. Is a piece of lead massive? I wouldn't consider it to be normally massive, but if it was big enough, yes. Yeah, but technically, like, a piece of lead, like pound for pound, is super dense. So it has a lot of mass in comparison to like a golf, not like a baseball sized, you know, ball of lead. Pretty heavy, very massive. You talk about layman's. Yes, I am a layman. I'm a normie. And you're my. Actually, how did you do? Oh, this is just okay. This is how you do it. Yeah. A ball? Physics ball. Isn't this more of a circle? A ball implies that almost implies that it's 3D. Maybe I'm weird. The definition of massive. When I do that, will a picture of your mom come up? I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm so like focused on your mom jokes today. What's the definition of massive? Twice now. He's done it. Yeah. This is the definition of massive, not including your mom. Large, heavy, or solid. Exceptionally large. Yeah. So I guess heavy. Large and heavy or solid? Wait a minute. Is it large and heavy or solid? Or is it large and heavy or solid? Inquiring minds desire to know. It's an ambiguous and or. I don't know. How about this other definition? Sorry. Let's not make that joke again. I was about to go into like let me Google it for you and type in like your mom. Forming a large mass. Large and heavy looking. Large in scale, amount, or degree. Forming a large mass, I guess. 3 Data UK. Sorry. It's been a tough couple of weeks. It's been a tough, yeah, actually, it's been a tough month, yeah. It's been a tough month. As the programming mind struggles to wrap itself around how just a ridiculous system works. The humor side of my mind has regressed substantially. I need to go to mom jokes anonymous. Wait, there's a joke in there. There's a joke in there. Hold on. I was about to say Michael Jackson's ass, but that's not a joke. There's a pun in there somewhere. We can figure it out. We'll roll it around. By the way, I cracked 40K. What do you mean? Only 2K left? Oh no. Oh no. One of these days they'll be able to make me pivot. That's terrifying. Make you pivot into learning APL. Doesn't Replit has APL, right? So I don't even need to like install any weird stuff on my machine, isn't it? We can do. Isn't APL? Yeah, APL is on here. Look at that. Yeah, but isn't like the thing about learning APL is that you need to have a super extended keyboard? You have no excuses? I don't know. If I do this, doesn't this, no, I don't know. I've done it. I did it. I know how to write hello world in APL. Actually, I'm interested. Does APL take into consideration double quotes? Maybe not. That's something that gets me, actually. In a lot of languages, like the difference between double quotes and single quotes, I don't care. But some languages, they'll do like, oh, like if you use single quotes, it's a character array. Yeah, that's how Elixir works, right? So in Elixir, which runs on the Erlang VM, Beam, single quoted strings are actually lists of characters, whereas double quoted strings are UTF-8 arrays. Yeah, I have no idea about like, so long as single quotes are for characters and doubles are for strings. Yeah. Well, most of the languages I work in don't make they don't make a distinction. Isn't Bash is one of the languages that makes a distinction between all that kind of stuff? So, boom, boom, that's your team. How do I do the positioning again? If it does, I have no idea. Yeah. Well, luckily, C# and Java and Python. Actually, Rust doesn't make a distinction between single and double quotes, right? Rust, single, double quotes. Yeah. It works similar to Java. That's what Stack Overflow tells me. Is it, or is it not? Oh wait, no, Java does it the same way where it's a character and a string. The more you know. Turns out I'm stupid. Actually, does that mean that there's a distinction between single and double quotes in C# as well? How do you not know that? Well, I know that for some languages it applies, right? I just don't remember which languages it applies to. All right, hold on. How about Python? Python, single versus double quotes. Oh, okay, Python it doesn't matter, I think. Code in Java. Actually, recently I've only been writing Python and Rust, so the Rust part is hard, man. It's so weird. It's like everyone is super siloed into doing their own thing, but I'm one of the few people that does everything else. Basically the ultimate fill. Still not read the Rust book? I still have not. But check it out, still being productive. Turns out reading is for nerds. Oh, that's not it. You know, I'm living proof that you don't need to be able to read in order to become a programmer. You should be very scared about that idea. I've been gainfully employed. You know, my evaluation after actually, I'm getting my final evaluation, I guess, at the end of the week, but the consensus has been like, oh, you're doing pretty well. I was like, all right, well, thanks. I'm okay with that. Yeah, because give that I'm a good programmer because I read. Yeah, I mean, I read code. As long as your code isn't doing something like completely insane, I think I'm okay with it. So for each, it's gonna be some sort of, do I not import this? So using model, I'll grab all of these. I think one of the traps I still fall into, oftentimes when working with, you know, imports and stuff, I still run into circular imports a large amount of the time for whatever reason. That's probably, from what I can gather, my biggest failing as a programmer is that I circular import a lot. I don't know why. For each item in player. Hey. Oh, this is a dictionary. Okay, hold on. Keys. Yes. Huh? I'm gonna make you pivot into making a game with macro quad. Please no. At the very least, let it be bevy. Circular imports are annoying. I hate languages. I can't deal with it. Isn't it like pretty much every single language cannot deal with circular imports? For item. Hey. Oh, these are these are string keys. Yeah. Bevy is too annoying. Isn't it? It's just the fact that it uses an ECS, so you need to do a lot more upfront planning. Whereas things that don't use an ECS, you know, you can do it like the regular way. It would be easy for you, which is annoying. Oh, I apologize. I apologize. Yeah, but isn't it like most languages can't handle circular imports? So like I know Python can't, Golang can't. I'm pretty sure C# cannot handle circular imports either. I think Java can handle circular imports if you aren't doing like import star, I think. As long as you're not doing import star and you're not circular importing on the thing that you are potentially circular importing, I think Java can handle it. Most static language should be able to handle it. I don't know, does Rust? I know Golang doesn't. That's actually what kind of prevented me from doing a lot of the big refactors on the bot. Yeah, Golang is compiled. Repo. Yeah. But Golang is stupid. Yeah, that's fair enough. But that's the reason why, like, wait for it. That's why there's a Discord package, and then there's also a Discord command package. It's because whatever I was doing was circular importing on itself somehow. I don't remember what the problem was, but That's why I broke it out into two things. Discord underscore command isn't used anymore, by the way, but let's see. We'll have var button, and I don't know. It's like the more I program, the more I like Golang. Did you know Golang is getting generics? The hottest new feature on the block. So instead of having to use code generation or just manually typing in, you know, the same boilerplate over and over again, you can use generics now. Hooray for new Golang. Decade late, but sure, yeah. But I don't know, I think I still stand by my older opinions on generics, in that I feel like most people overuse generics. It's like if they have access to generics, but all right, where can we throw this in? Where can we use it? In as many places as possible. I'm like, oh, please. That's also how you know I'm a Java programmer. I have bad memories of those projects where you'll hit a generic somewhere, but we're wondering, oh no, it's a generic. What's the error? It's like one generic that's used for like accessing your DB connection. Did you really need this? I guess it's technically enterprise. It's technically the way that you do all that kind of enterprise stuff, but you know. Oh, and then we need to do complaining just about bad enterprise programmers. Isn't that like any enterprise programmer? Or I guess that like describes any programmer that like does it exclusively, I guess, for how it looks, I guess. I was gonna say he does it exclusively for the money, but that's anybody. Bad argument. Yeah, like I don't work. Like if I had a choice, I don't think I would want to do programming as a career, but I do it because it pays really well. I think as a career, I want to be a streamer. No, I think I would want to become like a, I don't know, musician would be nice, but I don't have the skill to do that. Rust supports circular imports. Just confirms. Wow. Circular imports. Item usage key. So that's neat. I didn't know that. Pretty sure I've done the same in both Java and C#. Not sure. I'm not sure. I know Java supports circular imports. I feel like I've run into that problem with C# though, but maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm crazy. So there's a key item, and then there's no reason to compile a line can'ts. I present to you Golang. Venus. Oh, hello, Needle Mouse. How are you? Be free to go. Supporting circular imports will make the compiler slower. Yeah, isn't like Golang's compiler is surprisingly like really fast, isn't it? Yeah. So we can do, I don't know, man. Key items which will exist in your inventory but not exist. They won't be usable in battle. And we can have like, I don't know, Usable? Usable? Maybe? We'll keep an eye on that. We'll keep an eye on that. Actually, technically, because this is C#, right? We could just have a default. Wait. But if we're doing it like this, then we might as well just check for usable. Whatever. We'll keep it here for now. This is designed to be exceptionally fast. Gotta go fast, etc., etc. Show me your Sonic OCs. I'm gonna play for my comic. Rust is pretty slow. It's super slow. Yeah, the Rust compiler, horribly slow. One of the worst things about Rust is that compilation times, ooh baby, let me tell you. I think that's one of the biggest changes to my schedule I've had to make. Like I've made the joke before, like on stream, like we're compiling, but like actually at the start of my day, like I'll wake up, you know, open up my work laptop, pull the latest code from Git, and then just like hit compile and just walk away for half an hour. And that's pretty much it. Pull the code, start building it, check Slack for any updates. Come back. Sometimes it's not even done at after half an hour, because sometimes it starts to error out for whatever reason. Because, you know, hooray for containers, right? Everyone loves containers. But sometimes the volumes will just get too full for whatever reason. So then you need to clean up all the containers, rerun the entire build, come back in half an hour. That's a fun time. Incremental compilation makes things bearable. Yeah, it's a bit weird though, isn't it? Like if you're doing things like container native Rust, I think you need to hit it with like a full recompile. Unless you're keeping the containers around. Which doesn't really work in my instance, my circumstance, because one, it's a local Kubernetes cluster, and two, I'm running it on a laptop. So I run out of resources really quickly. You know, the laptop has 32 gigs of RAM, and it uses pretty much all 32. It's crazy, dude. It's one of those circumstances like having 64 gigs of RAM might actually make sense. Oh. Did I not do this, by the way? Oh, it's because I didn't make this usable. I made it a key item. So if we go to usable, that probably takes 2 to 4 seconds to recompile. Gotta love a good recompile. Yeah, test item, nothing happens. Actually, this should be throwing an error really quick. Yeah, because there's no signal to catch it. Nice. Processor matters so much for Rust compilation. Yeah. Well, the computer I'm recompiling, like the computer with the 30-minute build times, right? It's it's an i9. I think it's a 10th generation i9. It might be a 9th generation i9 now that I'm thinking about it. It's a 9th or 10th generation i9, 32 gigs of RAM, Retina display, which doesn't really help for compilation times, but it makes me feel so good. It feels so good. Ooh. You can watch it compile in high resolution. Oh baby. Which is good. I was given a choice between, you know, your standard ThinkPad. I was like, all right, ThinkPad, loaded with Linux. You can load whatever you want on it, pretty much. Or you can have the fancy MacBook. And I was like, of course I'm gonna use the MacBook. Also, I'm dropping like 1,000,000 frames. Oh no, we're back. I think we're back. My internet cut out for like a little bit there. No? Oh, jeez. Hold on. My my network connection is getting really, really bad. I just dropped 1,000 frames. Hold on. Stabilize. Did my internet just stop? That happens sometimes. That happens sometimes. It's the Trojan. Yeah. Never should have smoked that shit, man. Or never should have compiled that shit, I guess. On thing pressed, and then this will take a... Probably not an item name. We'll just throw in the item. Yeah. Oh yeah, like this. Yeah. Because it's a Godot collection array, so it doesn't matter what I put into this. Yeah. Neat. You know, I think if you actually gave me a Trojan, I might be a bit peeved. I might be a bit displeased, shall we say. You know, haha, got him, etc. But I trusted you. It would be a bit baller. It would be the death of this PC for sure. Wouldn't want any collisions. Wait, hold on. There's a pun in there somewhere. I'm feeling very uncreative today, mostly because what I have stuffed in my brain right now is I've been studying for an exam, a certification exam. I'm not in school anymore, but professional certification. Pretty much did not study. Turns out I didn't learn any useful study habits in the, 25 or so years I've been conscious. So, brain is a little full right now. Still trying to retain all the stuff I've crammed pretty much just today, in addition to all the other stuff I need to keep in my head. Like how this thing works. I was actually somewhat impressed with myself. I was able to recall how the entire structure of the skill system will work. Pretty much from memory, without looking at my diagram. You born with the study habits? Nah. Studying's for nerds. That's why I still refuse to read the Rust book. Well, it's weird. It's like I refused to read the Rust book, but I did run through like the entire Elixir tutorial. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Look at that. Alright, so this should be okay. Item name. Alright, so let's start doing the skill parsing thing. You're a professional Rust coder now. Rustation, if you will. Professional Rustation. Me a pro Rust coder. Nah. It's cool. You know, it's what's actually pretty wild is that they're not even using like Rust stable. They're not even using Rust stable. They're just using the latest and greatest tooling, which is just crazy to me. It's really weird though. They use really heavy use of macros, which makes it hard for me to follow. So like they have like an entire finite state machine that's just like configured via a macro. I'm like, oh my god, this is crazy. Like, what? Why can't you just make it like YAML or something? Instead, it's like Rust code interspersed with like whatever the macro is doing. Well, I guess how else would you want to configure a state machine in Rust without using an external config file? Like, JSON is okay because it's easy to parse relatively. I think, isn't XML the easiest one to parse? And then it goes XML, JSON, YAML, runtime or compile time. I think it's compile time. I think it's compile time. I actually don't know. It's like, it's the part of the application that they point me at. They're like, if you want to know how it works, like, look at this. And I look at it, I'm like, I have no idea what I'm looking at. This isn't regular Rust. This is like some sort of DSL that you've somehow written. So builder pattern, no macros, just Rust. Well, isn't like, if you're doing Rust, right? If you do like a thing, and then you hit it with a bunch of other things, like, oh, like this is the thing. Oh, geez. Right. And it takes in like lists and lists of things. I don't even know how it works. You know, not to scale, by the way, not to, so I don't out myself. That's a that's a macro. Yeah. Like, yeah, macros are always hidden behind the exclamation mark. Yeah. So it's hard for me to follow, but I get it. Saying no macros. So basically like Zig, right? I think I'd be interested in doing Zig. Zig looks cool. I like the idea of no hidden control flow, but he says, as he also really likes the idea of compiler macros, or compiler, what's it called? Compiler directives. Builder pattern. Builder pattern's okay. Builder pattern's okay. That's how you know you work with TypeScript or JavaScript. Isn't JavaScript really known for builder pattern, or at least function chaining, which is of course what the builder pattern is? Yeah, function chaining though. That's pretty much like the big thing around JavaScript, especially in the mid-2000s era of JavaScript, was that it was, you know, before they had like proper async support, it was just, you know, I hope you like using callbacks. I wish builders were more common in JSON. Builders not equal fluid APIs. What is a fluid API? Yeah, like what I'm talking about is like it's like the huge callback chains, which is just passing functions into each other, more or less. Yeah, well, yeah. Builders are also just the chaining stuff, right? That's not a builder. It's pretty much a builder. You know, you'll be like new. Yeah, you'll create a new builder. So in Rust it would be like, I don't know, you know, animal builder. I'm trying to remember the syntax. New dots add species. What's the singular form of species? Yeah, in Rust, it looks like because there are no default arguments. Yeah. Well, anyways, I don't know. Public class skill. What's the difference between? So you can do a struct, which is probably closer to what I want here, but I forget how structs specifically work. They're pretty much the same as classes in C#, except structs are passed by value, whereas classes are passed by reference. And so the idea is that the skills will just be parsed first, Oh, I cannot do this, by the way. Hold on. For skill. Oh, I'm stupid. Why is this here? Who wrote this? Python something would be one function call with keyword args. Oof. That's something I really hate about Python. One is just like super overuse of keyword args or kwargs. And two, the fact that most arguments don't have types on them, so you just kind of have to guess. Like, what the heck is a context? Is it just a dictionary? I have no idea. Because Python is untyped. Yeah, optional typing. Optionally typed. So unit skill. This needs to be unit skill. Skilla. Really quickly, we'll just rename this Skilla really quickly. So these are unit skill. So what I'm writing right now is I'm trying to implement this thing here. So we'll have the model skill, I see here, and then we also have a skill parser, which is going to be closer to, I guess, the GD Lisp parser that I wrote before, but this time in C#. We would surely type, it would be significantly better. Gradual, optional type. I don't know. I think, like, for Python, it makes sense for the use case it should be used for, which is, you know, writing scripts that are more complicated than a tiny bash script, but less complicated than needing something like, you know, pretty much anything else. Your project is so big you need types, use a strictly typed language. I wish. Those agon types that mostly don't mean anything. Yeah, that's what I don't like about Python though. Yeah, like the types are mostly for the editor. At runtime, they pretty much don't mean anything. Which is always kind of bizarre for me. I guess this would be parsed skill, not just like a regular skill, huh? So this is like unit skill, or it's like a built-in skill, perhaps, and then this is like a parsed skill. Yeah, okay. So let's rename this to parsed skill. Yeah, parsed. Yeah, because the skill parser outputs a parsed skill. There we go. Hooray. That was right. Remember thought TypeScript was an amazing idea? I remember. I'm gonna take off. All right. Thanks for hanging around, Knock. Thank you very much for your continued support after all this time. Take care and good luck. Hope you have fun parsing. Oh, I will. I'll catch you later on the flip side. Of course, I think once the deadline for this jam starts to really come up, I'll probably be working a bit more seriously on this. So we'll have, what items will a struct have? The parse skill, this is pretty much still the execution context idea. Fire under the butt mode. Productive mode, yeah, exactly. I'm not feeling the pressure. I'm lacking the sense of danger. Which is what the Ludum Dare really did, right? Really turned things into overdrive. Parsed skill, so we'll have like charge amounts. So float, we'll call it charge amounts. One of these. Public float. Hey. Struct field initializers. Oh, you can't do this in... Oh, you can't do that. Okay, cool. That's still valid. Yeah. Just to make sure. C# struct versus class. So this is something I have Googled before as well. I always get confused. I'm pretty sure like they're almost the same thing. Except that one is value, one is passed by value, one is passed by reference. Yeah, lives in line. Yeah. Yeah. And so why we want to do this as a struct is because we are probably just going to be reparsing the, well, one is that we'll be just slapping these skills onto whatever, and then we'll be recalculating them as needed. So since we're just going to be recalculating the entire parsed skill at runtime, I think this makes more sense. Because I think we'll need to constantly recalculate it based off of how I want this to work, which is, you know, a very simple DSL language that looks like this. Something like that. Space is optional. New line's also optional. Right, so you'll always have like a keyword pair, or a keyword, or several keywords, and then some number. That should be pretty easy, and then we'll just keep parsing. And then, you know, we'll have to have some sort of grammar as well. But the idea is that it's closer to like a casting system where you will figure out, you know, cast or a chanting system, but it's not really chanting. So let's see. So your charge amounts. Let's cheat a little bit and see what I was doing before. I always kind of forget. So magic is code. I still want to go back to magic is code, but this is what I'm looking at right now. So magic, so execution context. So there's the cost, there's the activation time, there's the instability. Oh yeah, instability was a big thing that I wanted to make happen, by the way. So there's the charge amount, there's your kind of just base instability. Maybe I don't want to have a struct. Well, maybe that makes sense, right? Because we're reparsing it, and then we'll be calculating these fields anyways. So it's you have a parsed skill, and then you have your skill parser, which produces parsed skills, right? Yeah. I think that makes sense. What else did I have? Oh, and then I also, this one was very complicated, I remember. Yeah, so you had an activation time, you had a mana cost, you had instability, which is, those three things I already had in my head. Then there were also the ideas of additional chains, or I guess chains of values, which is just bizarre. And then also subcontexts, which are just more and more nested execution context inside of it. And I believe the idea for that was that you could influence, or that's how you would do like a kind of like in a bullet hell kind of way. So, you know, move forward to spawn thingy, move forward to spawn thingy, move forward for spawn different thingy. Yeah, I remember. That was a very complicated system that is not documented on my piece of paper, so that's tough. Charge amount, public float, activation time. Or I guess activation delay. I think that's okay. Yeah, I think that's okay. Right. And then what other things I all have here? So there's a charge amount, a target. So we can have public float target. Actually, this shouldn't be a float. This should be more of an integer. So public integer target. So just getters and setters. Yeah, okay. So skill parser. So given something like this, and then also given that I've written a parser before, a very, very simple interpreter before. Let's see what we can do. See, this is the stuff I'm actually interested in for whatever reason. All right, so public skill parser. Yeah, that's it. Empty constructor. We don't really need anything else in it. I suppose we can have separate classes for... Can you do a private class, by the way? I forget. Private class. So there's the Tokenizer, probably one of the more important things to have. So we'll put all this stuff here, right? So you'll have... What's your problem? Elements defined in a namespace cannot be explicitly declared as private, protected. Ooh. Oh yeah, fine. We can do that. So this is your private Tokenizer. Yeah, there we go. So we'll just kind of slap everything here. I guess I can just do this, right? And then I think if you don't assign any visibility thing to it, it should just be scoped to the package, I think. I think that's how visibility works in C#. That's how it works in Java, at the very least. So you have your Tokenizer, you have your parser, which is totally different. And then you have your evaluator, also different. And then we'll have all three of these in the skill parser. So your parser, and then private evaluator, equals new evaluator. Nice. So empty constructor. And then, how do I want to do this? So what I'm referencing right now is this code here, which is a fully functioning Lisp written in GD script. So let's see. Should be pretty easy to port it over though, I think. Should be pretty easy to port it over. And if needed, I can also break this stuff out into other classes, but I'm not going to just yet. So don't need a lot of the standard things you need in a real language, right? Because this is just a DSL to kind of like pipe data into a parsed skill. So let's see. What things do I need? Environments, no, I don't even need like an env, so I don't need to pretend to have one of those. Yeah, so we'll need an atom. We'll need expressions, and then that's pretty much it. And even then, like atom, it's hard to say whether or not that's actually needed. Right, so you'll have we can do, let's create a new folder for this. So we'll call this skill parser. All right, so let's drop all of these into here. Skill parser, and then, you know, I guess we're just going to go full on enterprise here and split everything up really quickly. So namespace, utils, parser. Right, so this will be public class, skill, well, this will be the tokenizer. One of these. Ooh. And it's redefined, that's why it's throwing an error. That's okay. Skill parser. I also realize this is not how you're supposed to name your folders in C#, but that's okay. So let's see, then you have your parser.cs, and then evaluator.cs. So skill parser, tokenizer, let's grab all of this. So your parser, and then evaluator, just to split it up. And then we'll need two other things, which are it's your atom.cs and then also your expression.cs. Let's parse that and paste that in there. So there's your expression. Here's your atom. All right, cool. So expressions are probably need to be classes. Atoms probably need to be structs. We'll figure that out. Yeah, let's make this a struct for now. Let's also make this a struct. Since they don't really change, we just kind of read the value of them really quickly. So we have skill parser, we have a tokenizer, we have a parser, and we have an evaluator. And then we'll just have like a read file kind of thing, huh? So public. Parse results, or maybe it should always give you back a parsed skill. So we'll do public imports. So using model. So parsed skill. So we'll just call this parse. It's not really like a parsed skill, right? It's more of like an evaluated skill, but it's all right. It's kind of a misnomer, but that's all right. Wonder, how do I want to do this though? Because no, just have it taken as string then, right? It's a string. This is basically the code, right? Parse. Not all code paths return a value. Yeah, so at the very basic level, we can just return And since it's a struct, wonder if that makes a difference. We'll have to see if that makes a difference. Bring me back. What is the difference between C# struct versus class? So good old Stack Overflow. Variable value type lives on the stack, reference type lives on the heap. as a pointer to somewhere where the actual memory lives. Value type lives completely inside the type. Reference type lives inside. Cannot support inheritance. Our value types are passed by value. Cannot have a null reference. Does not have a memory overhead per new instance unless it's boxed. Okay. I think that's fine. So I just need to do one of these, right? I suppose it doesn't make any sense to have like getters and setters on a struct then, huh? You can only get from a struct? Yeah. Anyways, public parse to skill. So it'll take in, you know, a float, instability, float charge amount, float activation time, and then an integer target. Yeah. What's your problem? Auto implemented property must be fully assigned before control is returned to the caller. Hey. Guess we can just have these be fields. That's fine. Alright, so what's your problem? Instability equals instability. Let's see, charge amount, activation time, and then the target is equal to the target. Yeah, okay. Makes sense to me. Then here, at the very end, yeah, so evaluator will return some amount of information for us to finally be able to construct this thing here. Yeah. I think that makes sense. So we'll do I want to do it. For now, we'll have float instability is equal to 0f. Charge amount 0f. Float activation time and int target. Right, then we'll return new parsed skill that takes in all of these things. Instability, charge amount, and that's pretty much all that kind of defines a skill for now. Because it's going to be pretty basic. I guess it can be like a repetition amount as well. Activation time and then target. Targets. I don't know, probably like status effect or something. Maybe. I don't know. Let's think about it. We can add more things as we need to, though. Shouldn't be too bad. But first we have the string, which is just code. Let's think how we want to do this. So var, or no, we don't, well, yeah, var, this is the, like, tokenized, basically like the tokens, right? Is equal to a new, using system collections generic, yeah, new list of strings Alright, so instability will be a value from 1 to 0, maybe. So it'll be a percentage. So if you go over a certain percentage, that should be a bad thing, I guess. I think that's okay. Var tokens. Let's see. Then we'll do something with the tokenizer here. We'll get rid of most of this. Tokenizer. We'll make this really easy. So just a public void tokenize. Well, this would be easier if it just returns a value as opposed to me passing in a reference type. Why make it difficult? Collections, generic. So this returns a list of strings. So tokenize. So this is the initial code. And so var tokens is equal to new list of strings, empty string basically, and then we return the tokens afterwards. And then this is where all the magic happens in between that. Here we go. That's not how you're supposed to name it. Talk. Tokenize. Here we go. If tokens counts, was it counts is less than 1, right? So if we don't get any tokens at all, basically we fail tokenizing. Then I guess we'll just return whatever we have right now. Right? I don't know. I'll need to think about it. I need to think about it. Some of this doesn't feel right. Maybe this should just be just make this a class. Just make this a class, and then we can generate one of these, parsed skill, and it'll just kind of live here. Equals parsed skill, no constructors, no arguments. So public parsed skill, nothing. There we go. And then this way we can still have default arguments for all the stuff. Get set equals 1f. Yeah. I think this is just what I'm more used to using. Charge amount. Activation time. Probably 0f. Well, probably 1, and then we'll figure out what we want to do after that. Targets will equal 0. Yeah, okay, that's okay. Take out all of these. And this makes it really simple, so we'll just have a skill that will just slowly modify as time goes on. So this is pretty much just a bust, right? So skill dot activation time will be equal to skill activation time plus, I don't know. One. That's kind of how you have to do it, because it's not a field, it's a property. Slight difference, but you can't, I believe you can't just do this, right? Skill activation time plus equals 1f. Oh, never mind. That totally works. Shows what I know. Anyways, that's the API that I want to go for. So that's tokenize. Your parser is where the real fancy stuff happens. So what would we want to return from parse? It'll probably give me, yeah, it'll give me an expression. And then from that expression, we'll then figure out how to do this. So if we were going through this entire statement here, we'll ignore this part. We don't care. And then when we tokenize it, we change these all into like separate strings, which is why this thing here is a list of string tokens. Let's keep that here. Always good to remember. And then in the parser, that's when we start dividing them up into separate thingies. So charge 2, that would be its own expression. Wind up 1 would be its own expression. Target 2 would be its own expression, right? And then inside of each expression, charge and 2 would be atoms. Wind, I guess wind up would be an atom and 1 would be an atom. So that's a little difficult, but we'll figure it out. Okay, so list of expressions. So we'll just call this expressions. Yeah, there we go. Is equal to parser. We'll figure out what exactly we want you to do. It's probably just a thing called parse. So using system collections generic public list of expression. Just call this parse. So this will take in a list of strings. So these are the tokens, and then we'll figure out what we want to do from there, right? So as always, var expressions is equal to a new list of expression, empty list, and then we'll return it. And then how exactly we want to implement it, we'll figure it out. At the very least, I've done this before. And then we'll have a courtesy null check, of course. If expressions count is less than 1, skill dot activation time plus equals 1f, and then just return the skill as it is now. Actually, no. Well, yes, right? So if we fail parsing the initial, if we aren't able to find any tokens at all within the code, then I guess it's just like an empty skill. If we are able to find tokens, but we're not able to generate expressions from it, maybe this should do something a little different to do. Maybe have slightly different behavior here. That's okay. And then the evaluator, that's when things start to get kind of spicy, right? So public, I'm thinking this should be like a public void evaluate. And so this will take in a list of, using system collections generic once again. This will take in a list of expressions. So expressions, and then a reference to a parsed using model, a reference to a parsed skill. Right, so we can do this, and then we can also figure out some stuff later on after we do the entire evaluation stuff. So we can add more fields as needed. That's okay. We can add more fields as needed. Let's get rid of this constructor. Pretty much just get rid of all the constructors, right? Have an explicit empty constructor just in case. Of course. So this will be evaluator, evaluate, the expressions, and then also the skill. Is this not how you do it? The ref keyword. I've seen this used before, but I actually don't really know how it works. Ref. Yeah, what's the difference between a ref and an out variable? Or not variable, keyword. What things do I have open? Ref tells the compiler that object is initialized before entering the function, while out tells the compiler that the object will be initialized inside the function. Oh, ref is two ways, out is out only. Interesting. Oh, and the function has to assign to the out parameter. Interesting. Neat. Anyways, that's not what we're doing. We're passing in a reference like that. Evaluate it, then to do some other checks afterwards. And so probably like we can do if skill.instability is greater than some amounts, right? So instability is greater than or equal to 1, I suppose, right? Then we'll do a thing. And so this is the parse skill. So there's the instability, charge amount, activation time, target. And then we can also have other things that are calculated afterwards. So the idea is that these are parsed from whatever expression we pass in. And then afterwards, then we'll do we'll kind of walk this really, really simple tree here, which is, do we have the requisite charge amounts? If not, then we'll just kind of assign your damage accordingly. If you have a valid target, if so, then we'll do a thing, I think that probably makes sense. Anyways, I'll be right back. I need to use the restroom. BRB. Hello. We're back. Starting to get kind of cold, so don't mind me. Just putting some pants on. You might be asking yourself, do you not usually wear pants when you stream? That is the case. Don't usually wear pants. Pants, a little too limiting. Also because I work remotely. So most days I'm in a state of an undress, if you will. Not lewd, by the way. Let's see, Tokenizer. So we'll have a few things that need to be tokenized properly, blah, blah, blah. So we'll have an enum. Tokens, I suppose. Let's see, so you'll have the none token, which we don't care about. I don't think I'll have an expression. It's really just like a word. So in my previous code, I have defined a parse expression, parse space, parse symbol, etc. Hello, Felipe. How are you doing? Boingo boingo. Nice comment. Nice comment. Get randomized. You can be a teddy bear. Wee. How are you doing, Felipe? I'm doing okay, before you ask. Thank you very much. Still trying, just banging my head against the wall, trying to force myself to be productive. It's hard though, it's hard. Ever since there's been more work for me to do at like real work, I'm like, It's like, I don't really want to program, but I know that like if I don't, then what I'll be doing instead is just wasting my time just like watching Netflix or YouTube videos or whatever. The disappointment in your voice when I came with my nonsense is something. Like, son, I am disappointed. Yeah. All excited. I'm sorry. Did my voice give it away? I'm trying. I'm consciously trying to alter the tone of my voice so I'm not monotone. But that does sometimes lead to me sounding like disinterested sometimes. Because if I just sound super excited like this all the time, then it's kind of hard to tell when I'm, you know, doing stuff, you know. Actually, I don't know. I guess I would get more viewers if I sounded super excited all the time. Really put more oomph into every single word and just, wow, you know. Isn't that what all the popular YouTubers do? Like, sheesh, here we go again. Yeah, at least that was a thing back in I guess early 2010s, right? It's like, it's PewDiePie, or you know, what's Jacksepticeye's? It's he's the Irish one, right? It's like top of the morning to you laddies. I don't know. I don't really watch any of those YouTubers either. I think the most popular YouTubers I used to watch back then was like C-Nanners. Remember C-Nanners? Yell for success. I don't need to yell. I can just kind of get really close to my mic. Kind of scratch my mic. How does this make you feel? ASMR stream. Let's see. By the way, what I'm looking at on my right here is this. So I've already written a tokenizer before. So what I'm doing right now is I'm trying to implement this idea. So these are just random words, and we'll parse it left to right, top down. And so this is an example of the things that I'll be parsing. So like, this is the skill definition, the DSL, if you will. So you'll have charge to, wind up 1, target to, execute. Tell me what that means. Yeah, you get the tingly. Doesn't work as well. Actually, if I turn on direct monitor, I can hear myself like this.
I just talk like this while I'm like chewing on my mic. And now I can actually hear what this sounds like. How do girls do this? This is crazy. I think my voice is a bit too...
My voice is a bit too low. Bit too low pitched. But yeah, that's the idea, is that we will parse this entire file left to right, top down, and then it kind of builds up into an execution context, which in this case is this thing here. So there's a few variables. It's not very complicated, right? So certain things add to instability, some things add to charge amount, just based off of what they are. We're keeping it really simple, but the idea is that you as the player will be able to influence the skills of both your party and the enemy, and then that will be the combat system, I guess. Oh, Knock is back. Welcome back to the world of the living. If you're interested in Godot Knock, you can also check out Felipe's streams, a fellow Godot streamer. A Godot game dev streamer, I should say. So Tokenizer. So we'll have expressions, not really what we want. It's more like word, space. There's not really any need for quotation marks, but maybe we can have quotation marks. So quotation. Parsing expression. Is expression just, I guess expression is just all words, that's okay. Well, look, yeah, you're welcome, Felipe. That's it. Don't say I've never done anything for you. Let's see, parse quotation. Do we want to parse brackets? I guess. And then parse escape character. Escape character. So this is pretty much like word for word what was written here, but just done in a more C# kind of way. So those are your tokens. We'll tokenize. So we'll have to keep track of the current type. Oh no, I feel like I don't need to parse brackets. I don't need to parse brackets. Brackets are for nerds. So if you have any brackets, they'll just be ignored. Actually, we will parse brackets, but brackets will include parentheses and pretty much anything else. Yeah. So, for example, this line 1 will always be the, maybe it won't even have line 1, so we'll take out the first line. But if we see a bracket, we'll just ignore whatever is inside the bracket. Maybe that'll work. Let's see. And we can also have several variables stored on the actual class. So we'll do private tokens. Or I guess it'll just be token, right? Private token. Or current token, right? Current token is equal to token none is escape character. So I've defined that in my GD script implementation of this, but I feel like I don't need that, considering that this is supposed to be fault tolerant, I suppose, or maybe fault intolerant. So how this works is that we'll just kind of, whenever we run into something that we can't parse, we'll just return. We'll just immediately return, and then that will be your code. No errors will be, and I suppose then we'll also have to return, oh no. Oh no. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We'll have a new type called results. That's C#. Namespace. Whom. This will be in utils. Skill parser. Hooray. And so this will be public class results. We're probably closer to a struct, huh? Public struct results. Only reason they use structs is because they are probably more memory efficient, but in this case I want to make it obvious that we're not supposed to be modifying this. Because I know me, and if I know me, I know that I'll be super confused about why I made several choices before, which is why I need to leave these kind of, it's like a note to myself. Yeah, they can be more performant. Yeah, because they're value types, right? They're stored on the stack, etc. They're not stored on the heap. So I guess it'd be public results, and then you would have how did I call this in GD Lisp? Yeah, I guess it's just like a tuple, more or less. Does C# have tuples? C# tuple. Oh, C# does have a tuple. What do you know? Wait. C# 7. What version of C# am I using? Is it a class? Actually, yeah, are tuples classes? I don't know. How do I check which C# version I'm using? This just says .NET 4.7.2, but I'm not sure if that's correct or not. Use cases of tuples. No, I know what a tuple is used for, but how are they? You can define a tuple with an arbitrary amount of elements. Oh, then I guess like if you can just create tuples. So can I just do this? Can I just do that? And then I'm not sure. I'm just doing stuff at this point. Yeah? Wow. So there's, yeah. I don't know. I guess I don't need to use like a explicit result type if I can just do this. It's a very Golang style of doing it for sure. No syntax level tuples, it's like Python. Oh baby. Well, I mean, it seems to parse this just fine, so I think that's okay. I guess this should be closer to like an error string, so it would be like a, yeah, I mean, I'm not importing anything different, right? It might be better to actually use an explicit result type, but C# corner, I don't know. I'm reading the Microsoft documentation, so like it seems okay. Seems okay. I don't know which C# version I'm using though, but because this doesn't throw an error, we're gonna assume that this is probably fine. I guess if to really check, we could just build it really quickly. Oh, okay. Well, cannot implicitly skill parser. Oh, it's because we've changed this part. Yeah. So you'll have. Ooh, ooh, error. Everything just comes back to Golang, I guess. All right. What's your problem? Proper tuples, C# is, yeah, C# is pretty neat. And so like check it out as I proceed to not actually use proper C# code and instead just write it like Golang. Does C# have destructuring? I think it does. I would have to assume it does. According to the Microsoft reference, it looks like... Hold on. Does this count as destructuring? No, this doesn't count as destructuring. I don't know. Use cases of tuples. Let's learn. Ooh. This doesn't look like destructuring. Tuple field names? Ooh. I don't see destructuring. I'm not sure. Hard to say. I guess not if it's I don't know. Maybe it does. Oh, there is. Oh yeah, there we go. Wait, no. Isn't that just... That's not destructuring. They're like this... Is that destructuring? I thought destructuring was more of a... Like it referred to like... If you were given an array, you could destructure it into multiple variables at the same time. Maybe that's incorrect. Anyways, that's what I'm doing here anyways. In very Golang style. Where the string value kind of just refers to which thing we errored out on. So if tokens is less than 1, blah blah, but then we'll have the error value. So we'll leave that to kind of pass information back to the player, saying that like this is where your code messed up. We still tried our best to parse it, but this is what we couldn't parse, or this is what we couldn't tokenize, right? I think that makes sense. All right, so we're not gonna do the Rust thing. We're just gonna do the Go thing instead. Parsed skill, and we can pass this information along with parsed skill as well, right? So public string error. I guess it's just error, huh? Yeah. Leave it empty for now. It's a shame you're a Rustation now. I don't know, man. It's like I've grown way more accustomed to writing Golang. I'll have to get out of that mindset eventually, but not now. It's pretty much the same thing. Rust puts a little bit more sauce on it, but you know, at the end of the day, it's still just spaghetti. Did you like that? that was a pretty good wordplay. IMO. Good job, me. Get it? Because you put a little bit of sauce on it. It means that you're making it fancy, but it's still spaghetti at the end because it's spaghetti good. My genius knows no bounds. Don't explain it. The Rust station is like a radio station for Rust. Rustation? No, I get it. I get it. Not as good as my my spaghetti joke, but I give it like a 3 out of 10. So if code dot length, I guess if code dot length is less than 1, then we should just return. Hold on. I feel so attacked right now. So it's okay. I already have your money. It'll keep me warm at night. This is confusing me, actually. It looks so much like Golang. I see this, I'm like, man, I should really like push this to the other side. But that's not how this works. So this is the error, which is equal to just an empty string. So this is the error. If code length is less than 1, then we'll do let me think. Code length is less than 1, then your tokens will still be nothing, but then your error will equal like empty code, I suppose, and then we'll just return the same thing. Just so we don't need to think about it. Well, at that point it doesn't matter, right? What am I doing? Just paste this here. It's the same thing. So and I suppose we should actually do if error is not nil, I guess. If not, is there an empty? No. Length is greater than 1, and we'll do a thing. Hey, what's your problem? Oh, if error length is greater than 1, then we'll do a thing. So to do a thing. Okay, cool. So for each. Okay, so how do I iterate over a string in C#? At this point, it might be better just to go back to GD script to do this. That's okay though. We're learning. Can you access a string by value? By index? For int I is equal to 0, I is less than code dot length I++. Hooray! Very Java style. So var character is equal to code. Okay, yeah, you can just access it like that, right? So that's your character. Probably not. Identifier expected. Hey? Okay, so character, yeah. What am I doing? Yeah, character is a keyword. Okay, so there's your character. So I feel like I don't need to parse quotations either, but it might be nice to have a quotation marker. So you know, if C is equal to one of these, then we'll do a thing. This is very similar to my GD script code. Else if current token is equal to token quotation, then we'll have to do something special. Else do a thing, and then this is just going to be a switch statements on C, which is also coincidentally, I just noticed that's what I called in my GD Lisp thing as well. Named it C. So once an idiot, always an idiot, I guess. So case. So which characters are we going to match on? Most of them are just going to be the default case, I think. So there's how do I match on a quotation mark? Or actually, do I not even... Or no, I'm already matching on the quotation mark at the very start. But... I don't know. There's case this one. Case... What's your problem? Cannot implicitly convert this to char. Okay. So like that. then this one needs to be, just a new line. Can I do multiple cases on the same line? So if I did like this, that would be okay. Probably not. All right. We'll do it the old school way. That's okay. So, is that okay? Can you do a carriage return like that? And then tabulation we also do not care about. Right. So what's your problem? Too many characters and character literal. Oh, that's okay. Right, because carriage returns are separate characters, so as long as we just run into it again, it doesn't matter. Yeah, okay. So private, so we'll have a list of characters. Is this actually what it looks like? Wait, hold on. What is this? Car. Okay. Cars. It's equal to a new list of characters. Hooray. So this is pretty much almost exactly what I had before. So private string build token. This works implicitly. And then, actually, doesn't C# have a string builder? C# string builder. It does. Okay, cool. Microsoft Docs, what do you got for me? System, text, string builder, new string builder. Okay, neat. Using system, text. So we don't need to have a list of characters anymore. We can just have a string builder. New string builder. Yeah, and then we'll just add things to you, right? No? SB to string. Okay. Return SB to string, I guess. Should probably also have a null check really quickly. So if SB dot count dot length is less than 1, then we'll just return empty string, I guess. Or return something that says error. Or we can do a check. So we'll return an empty string and then we can check to see what the result of build token was. Yeah. I think that's okay. Or since I'm actually keeping track of the position inside of, you know, this thing here, right? Because we're doing a for loop. I wonder if we ever run into an error, I can just return the line, the line position, and then we can also keep track of how many escape characters we encountered. Oh baby, it's turning into a real parser, unfortunately. Yeah, so spaces, I think we probably, yeah. Treat spaces differently from treating new lines, character turns, or tabs. We'll just ignore those. But spaces should probably signal a build token call. And then what are we doing with this? This is var token So if token dot length is less than 1, then we know that something went wrong, right? So then we can just return whatever we currently have, tokens, along with, oh no, like an error at message, and we'll have to do like a string format kind of thing. We'll figure it out. I think we do need to do using system, just regular system, right, to access the string methods. Right, so we can have a private read-only string, like error message, right? Error message is equal to error at line this thing, position this thing. Nice. Right. And then here we'll hit it with, actually this can be a constant. Yeah. So this thing we'll do string format. So we need the string to format. So this is the error message, and then object to format. How many args can you have? You can just have a lot of args. I guess that's okay. Okay, so if you ever hit a new line, what does a carriage return look like? Carriage return is RN, right? Carriage return. Is carriage return RN or is it just NR? I suppose it doesn't matter. What's the order? I think carriage return is RN. One of these. So here we'll have to just do this. Current token, blah, blah, blah. Private int, I guess, current line, which is equal to 0, right? Because it's an integer, there's no such thing as like in between lines. Oh wait, we do want to, should have done it like this. Boom. Only on the new line character will we increment current line. So current line, current token, no. Current line plus equals 1. Right, so error message, so error at line, current line, and then we'll just pass in the I position. Should be okay. Yeah. Look at that. So that's your null safe check, I guess. So we check for quotations, and we check to see if we're inside of a quotation right now. Otherwise, well, what would you want? Why would you want quotations to be somewhat separated? I'm trying to remember why I did that here. Oh, it's because quotations can contain escape characters. Maybe I don't want to handle quotations as a separate thing. Yeah, you know what? Say goodbye to quotation marks. We don't need these. Quotation marks are for nerds. And no one likes them. So get rid of else. Get rid of that one, get rid of this one. Alright, cool. Make it simple. Alright, so defaults. I'll have to do a thing here at the very end. Not sure what though. I think current type, current token will be equal to token word, right? And then what did I call it? SB, the string builder. Dots append. Let's see. Repeat count. Oh my god, there's so many overloads. Alright, so luckily, yeah, you can pass in a character. Neat. So if you ever hit a space character, we'll build the token. If it's a valid token, then we will add it to the tokens thingy. Add tokens, or add the token to tokens. Nice. If we ever hit a new line, we'll do that. Why would I ever want to parse escape characters? I don't know. I actually don't use these here either. Neat. I think parsing brackets might be good. You know what? What if we just don't parse brackets at all? Or, you know what? No, we're gonna parse brackets. So we'll treat brackets almost like a quotation, maybe. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, it's super simple, right? We'll just ignore brackets. So you can have all kinds of garbage in here. Yes. So, in addition to tabs, carriage returns, we'll also be ignoring most punctuation. Actually, how do I filter? Is it possible to just check for punctuation? C#, check for punctuation. Check string for punctuation. Oh, character is punctuation. There is just a method to do that. Neat. So character, car is punctuation. Okay, cool. Look at that. That saves me a lot of trouble. What does check for punctuation even check for, though? Ooh. In which lang? C#. So C# just has is punctuation. Oh no. Is punctuation? What is this? Rune? What is this? Golang? So I'm assuming a rune is a UTF. Yeah, okay. Interesting. So you can check for character punctuation, or you can check for UTF-8 punctuation, which is a bit different, I think. It's a bit weird. Should I not be checking for characters, or should I not be treating this as a character then? Maybe that's like incorrect. Because I know, at least in Golang, I like how they have the note here. At least in Golang, you generally want to try to do everything as a rune. But how do I convert this to a rune? Can I just do this and be like, get as rune? So if I do code, rune, eh? What? So this is a struct, yes. Ooh, value type, sure. How do I create a rune? If your code iterates through the char instances in a string, or some of the char's methods won't work correctly on your char instances that are in the surrogate range, it won't work, blah blah. Preceding code works correctly with some languages such as English, sure. Won't work correctly with languages outside the basic multilingual plane, such as Osage. What is Osage? American Indian tribe. Oh, interesting. So for... Oh, interesting. So we can do... Okay. Enumerate runes, but what if I want to do Okay, is surrogate? Wait. Code that explicitly hands surrogate pairs. Consider using the rune type of your code calls APIs that explicitly operate on surrogate code points. You know what? If you're not typing in ASCII characters, tough luck. Sorry. Which should hopefully be most people. Otherwise, it won't parse. So I think I won't worry about runes for now. It is good to know that C# does make that distinction, though. Yeah. Current token. So we can do if car is low surrogate. What is a low surrogate? Okay, yeah. Indicates whether the specified car object is a low surrogate. Yeah. It's a high surrogate. Yeah. Tells you if it's a high surrogate or not. Interesting. Specified Unicode character. Okay, well. I guess I don't need most of this, huh? Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. This could probably be handled better if I just did like a big if-else statement then. Yeah, unlike Godot, which doesn't really have too much in the ways of that kind of tooling, huh? So we do if C where car is, ooh, I guess is letter, right? So if car is letter, yeah, that might make a lot more sense. The current token is a word, SB append C, right? And then do that. Yeah. Get rid of this. Anything else, we don't really care. We can do an else if car is separator. What is a separator? Like a separator like a, yeah, wait, separator. So is a dash a separator? That's what I'm assuming. Whereas white space is white space. What is a control character? Is that like a punctuation? No, because that's what punctuation is. What the heck is a control character? Huh? All right, C#. All right, hit me with it. Is punctuation? Yes. Methods. I desire your help in these trying times. What is a separator? Ooh, yes. Who? Space. Unicode standards recognizes 3 subcategories of separators: space separators, line separators, and paragraph separators. What? Is this Unicode? Ooh. Space separator, line separator, math. Okay, so math symbols. Wait, no. Line separator. Character that is used to separate lines of text. What? Why? Okay. Paragraph separator. Value is 13, sure. Space separator, which has no glyph but is not a control or a format character, signified by a Unicode designation ZS. Capital ZS. Value is 11. Sure. I guess that's probably okay. So I think I want to use is white space probably. What counts as white space, by the way? What counts as white space? Hopefully is white space. So a space, sure. paragraph separator, line feed. Yeah, see, that's why I don't want to do, is I don't want to... we'll figure it out. That's okay, I guess. Var token is equal to build token. If token length is less than 1, then we'll do the whatever the heck this was. Tokens add. Yeah, I think that's actually way simpler and covers most of the use cases I'm doing for this really simple language, which is just this thing. So it uses white space to delimit code. I don't know if that's correct or not. Is white space. Categories as white space. You know what? Welcome to the team. Empty character. You must use this space character if you want to build a token. Actually, no. I should be worrying about this once I get to the parser, I suppose. Okay, cool. That's pretty much it, yeah. So we loop through the entire string, character by character. We check to see if it's a letter. If it is a letter, then we append it. Otherwise, we build it and then move on. And actually, doing it like this, we don't even need to keep track of the tokens, right? Or we don't need to keep track of the current token type. There's no reason to. Okay, yeah. Because I don't need to, like, there's no such thing as like a quoted string. What did I do? Yeah, there's no such thing as a quoted string. There's no such thing as like the AST is basically non-existent. We're literally just parsing word by word. And then the only thing I'm really looking for is like a few keywords. There's no ability to define your own keyword either. Maybe there will be, I don't know. We'll think about it. If need be, I'll come back to this, but I think that's more or less correct. So here we'll do something. We'll figure out how we'll want to handle the errors. Then we'll run all the tokens through the parser. So the tokenizer gives me a list of strings and a string error if applicable. Assuming that we're able to get past these checks, we'll pass all those into the parser. Parser does the slightly more interesting thing of running through each token. So each token is guaranteed to be its own string. So I think we're still going to use a for loop here. So int I is equal to 0, I is less than tokens dot count, and I plus plus, easy enough. And then we're going to be using roughly the same idea here. No string builder, but we will, oh, yeah, no string builder, but we will just have the constants, right? Yeah. So current line is equal to 0, and then I think I will need to, yeah, should probably just reset this every single time. So current line 0, just in case. Then SB clear. This one we'll just need to clear the current line. Easy enough. Current line is equal to 0. Boom, boom. Actually, current line, it doesn't make any sense to have current line here. Right? I'll just need to keep track of what the error is, or which token we failed to parse, right? Yeah. And then we can do the same thing here as well. So wrap this up all nice and pretty like. So return a string tuple like that. Okay. So for int I equals 0, string parser. Let's do this really quickly. String. It's very Golang style. Actually, am I not able to do that? Mixed declarations and expressions and deconstruction is not available in C# 7.3. Use language version 10 or greater. Oh, okay, well. Oh, okay. So that's where that's gonna cause a problem. Is this gonna cause me a problem as well? Because now we are already defined. Okay. So token error. This is parse error. What am I doing? Parse error. Length is greater than 1. Then we'll have to do a thing. Else do another thing. Okay, so Tokenizer I think is done. Parser. We'll just loop through all the tokens and then figure out what exactly we want to do. So this is really easy. We don't pay attention to quotes. We don't really pay attention to anything. We do need to do a few checks beforehand. So let's see. And yeah, luckily we also don't need to worry about recursion either. So only things we need to do is if tokens. Actually, we don't need to do a size check. We've already done that. I guess we could do recursion. We could use recursion. I don't know if that's a good idea. As opposed to just a regular for loop. Yeah, I think we do. And then here I also need to keep track of whether or not it's an atom or an expression. Yeah. Yeah. Right? How does this work? Who wrote this? So this is our parser. So match token, blah, blah. So with the syntax that I'm going for here, something like charge 2 will be the expression, charge and 2 will be the atoms. So, I think I'll just need to do, that's tough. I'll need a list of reserved words for sure. And then also, as long as I define, I guess, mixed words, or maybe this will just be wind up like that. Wind up. Wind up. To make it easier to parse. So this will just be a single atom, and then we'll check to see, is this one of the words that I guess allows for it to be standalone, or is this one of the words that requires a numerical value after it? Something like that. Oh, and you know what? Since we're doing something like this, if we can do some really, really simple if-else statements as well. Hooray for control flow. I don't know why that you would want that to work though. That does sound interesting to me though. Really, really simple control flow. And then since we're also doing this by line number, more or less, label start. Label end. So you'll have label Oh, you know what? Oh, I was about to say label is a, what is it called? It's not an anagram. What is it called when it's the same forwards and backwards? But that's not what label is. I just don't know how to read. Label, hello. Right, and so you could eventually, possibly, something like that. And then you'll have, I don't know. If charge. Oh no. He's starting to actually write a real programming language. This is probably like a really bad idea. I need to rein myself in, but I like the idea a lot. Is that if we keep it really simple, I think this could work. Yeah. Yeah. So we just parse, because most everything is a keyword. Most things are already keyworded, and you're not able to assign new variables anyways, right? Yeah, okay. So if charge is... Yeah, okay. Everything is a keyword, so charge will just work implicitly and add a charge value, maybe. And then we can do like if charge for... and then we'll just look for then whatever, right? But it doesn't even matter, right? Because we ignore new lines. So your then can be on the same thing. So this will be... Oh no. Then go to... This will totally work, and I hate it. That's functional for a DSL. That's functional for a DSL, and I think it's also very, very possible for me to do. Yeah. I like this idea. Or I like the idea of adding go-tos in any DSL I make for pretty much no reason. So let's see, what was the thing? So we'll have labels, we'll have labels. Okay, so this is like the current token var, right? So token is equal to tokens, and then we'll just grab whatever is at this index, right? Then we can switch on the token. Token case, and so here we'll just need to be explicit. So if it's label, then we'll be looking for a corresponding thing, right? I feel like label shouldn't be so high up, but that's okay. Case go to, that's Godot, go to. You hate to see that. So we'll need to implement these at some point, but I'm still trying to think about what I want to do for that. So how did I parse things into expressions here? Oh, that's how I parse things into expressions. Recursion, okay. We don't need to use recursion here. I think I can just have a flag somewhere. Oh, hello, Code Custard. Sunday, fun day. Taco Tuesday. Bit late for Taco Tuesday, at least for me. What's up? Oval ceiling. just working on my game jam game for the GitHub game off. So here's the DSL that I'm starting to come up with, Code Custard. Check this out. So we'll have, it's going to be very, very simple, right? You'll almost always just have kind of key value pairs, a DSL. So a domain specific language. Basically, it's like a stripped down programming language for use for a very specific task. So here's the programming language. It's not programming language, but it's just a language to define player skills in this kind of game. Let's hope it still works. Right, so we can recompile, run it. Look at that. So this is what we have, right? This is the fight whatever. So everything more or less works. We can run. Hooray. We can use things, but these just print to the screen. Test item. Oh, test item. Object reference not set to an instance of an object. That's good. All right, well. Let's add a to do, because that's clearly broken. Also not able to. Hey. This is not my... Not able to backspace? Ooh. What happened? Ooh. 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 What happened? What the heck? Did I press something that I shouldn't have? That was weird. Yeah, roll. There we go. There's all the commands. I still need to port a lot of those, a lot of the Golang like CLI options over to Twitch and also back to Discord. It's a bit hard sometimes to do this null pointers for some reason. But yeah, so the thing that I'm trying to come up with, right, is that you have pretty much everything is key value, so you'll always have some string and then the value it's set to. And then there's a few keywords like execute that doesn't take a value at all. It's a key in value in the same word. But you can see here that if we were to space it out, it would make a bit more sense. But, you know, you have label hello. This doesn't do anything by itself. We have charge to, which adds 2 to your charge amounts for your skill data. Wind up 1, which does pretty much the same thing as charge 2, but it's just called something different. Like it's intentionally made very complex to give the player a sense of like, oh, of wonders, like what are we doing here? I don't know what's going on, right? You aren't able to set new variables, I think, but you do have conditional logic. So basic if statements, if, you know, token modifier for, or token modifier other token that we can check for. So this can be like a built-in, this can be just an integer or a float, right? Then you have the then. So this is a very, I guess, Ruby style, very verbose. Yeah, and then my favorite part is the go to. And that's how we're kind of parse our abstract syntax tree, our AST. So go to end, and then, you know, go to's just point towards a label. So this is how we'll loop, is this is a loop pretty much. And then this is how you break out of the loop. And then I'll also keep track of, I guess, the stack size inside of the parser just to make sure that we never infinitely loop. It is possible to loop for a while though, I think. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how fast that will be. So I think as long as I keep the stack size below like 1,000 or something, I think it should be fine. Right, but that's not for the parser to figure out, that's more for the evaluator. So the tokenizer, very simple. Since I don't need to worry about parentheses, I don't need to worry about quotation marks, I think that should be okay. Right, so all this does, much simpler than the Lisp I wrote in GD scripts. Yeah. This thing needed to keep track of quotations, because actually quotations are pretty difficult to work with. Surprisingly enough. Or strings. Strings are surprisingly difficult to work with in programming languages. But we have a tokenizer. This one just looks for, you know, whole words or white space, and then decides to do what to do from there. Yeah, so the relation between what you saw in game, which is just like menu options, so those menu options will come back to basically these files, which will be editable by the user. And then also, what I'm planning on is like the ability to mess with the enemy's skills as well, and then the enemy can also mess with your skills. So like it'll be like a somewhat interesting way to do combat. So you'll have your standard damage dealing abilities, but also you'll need to, you know, maybe not think quickly, but debugging the game. You know, that face when I guess your cat runs across your keyboard, presses a bunch of keys, presses save, and then crashes your entire computer. I don't know. Something like that. But right now I'm just trying to come up with the keywords that I want to match against. So there's label, there's go to, I think there's if, that's a pretty good token to match against. Then these are all kind of the standard built-ins. So label, go to, if, then. So these are region, standard, built in atoms. And region. It's a bit weird how it does that formatting, but whatever. Okay, now it formats it correctly. Okay, cool. Why did you decide to use C# instead of GD script? I believe your other project was GD script, or I might have been mistaken, might have been someone else. Yeah, no, most of my other projects are in GD script, but I've been wanting to do something that is strongly typed. So yeah, like I did write a programming language using GD scripts, but you know, it was pretty hard. You can see that there's a lot of workarounds that I had to do in GD scripts in order to do error handling properly. And for whatever reason, I am not using C#'s built-in error handling. I'm still doing it very Golang-esque. Whereas Golang doesn't really have error handling, by the way. It's a bit weird. So label, go to, if, then, and I think I need to do, write a go to GD script transpiler? Absolutely not. How would you write a go routine? Actually, no, that's a bad question. I think I know how you would write a go routine in GD scripts. Isn't that it's just spinning up another thread, more or less? Doesn't var name string make it strongly typed, kind of like TypeScript? Not really. I believe in yeah. It's only a type hint. It's not strongly typed. So I think if you run it as a debug build, Godot will throw an error. But once you export it, it'll work a lot more like JavaScript, where you can kind of just pass in whatever type you want. Like that was one of the long-standing bugs with this program, is that it was strongly typed in the editor. And actually I never caught it, so I guess even the editor doesn't catch it sometimes. Yeah, exactly like I typed it. Yeah. So you can pass in, like there was one thing where I was expecting like a dictionary to be passed to one of my functions, but in some classes or some parts of the program, it was just passing it like a string. And so the function was failing silently for whatever reason. But yeah. It took a while until that was patched out because it is hard, right? Because I never got an error. Does GD-Lisp type checking have support for generics? GD-Lisp kind of sucks. Oh, and the help command is also like completely bugged because it's not auto-generated. Kind of a pain. You can take a look at the bot code here. Yeah, tilde. I decided not to go with tilde. Tilde doesn't let you do things like I don't know, like uwu or something. I don't know what weebs are into nowadays. Talking about weebs. I recently read through all of the Re-Life manga. What a great manga. I saw this show back in a while ago. And it was just on my list to read the manga once the manga finished, which had finished in like 2020 actually. That's crazy. It's a weeb. A weeb? A weeb is someone who's way too into Japanese culture. Re-Life? Yeah. So, short synopsis of Re-Life is... There is person not doing too well at their company in Japan. And they're slowly turning into a NEET, which is a term that's like fairly popular in like Asia, I think. I was surprised by it, but anyways. So they get approached by a salesperson from a company called Re-Life, and then they're given an opportunity to turn back into a college student. Or not a college student, a high school student, in order to, I guess, reinvigorate that spark in their life. Some sort of inspiration behind Weebly? Nah, maybe. I think Weebly is more of like a Weebly kind of thing. Why would anyone do that? Well, it's because the reasoning is that because they'll give you a full year's salary as well and a recommendation once you go through the experiments. So I was like, oh, okay. Well, I don't really have too much else going on in my life at this point. So it's initially money driven, but then there's like the idea behind the experiment is that's supposed to, I guess, remind you of the things that you lost and then kind of like re-socialize you. Yeah. But anyways, it's very good. It's one of my, I rate it very highly. The show, kind of okay, but like the epilogue episodes that were released afterwards, 10 out of 10. A bit too real. A bit too real. So, bool is expression false. I'm sorry, I just noticed goTo. All right, so let me explain to you. By the way, look at this. So this is a really simple DSL. Everything is key value or just single key and value. Besides, like, I guess the if statement. So the if statement is if key or value comparison key or value. And then you must have a then statements, which is the result of your if statements, and then that can be whatever you want it to be. Look at that. It's beautiful. Like, this logically makes sense, right? So you have a label hello, and then you can either go to hello if, so if you follow through this if statement, then you just follow through to the next line. And also, I think technically this is totally correct. Actually, no, that's not correct. I guess we're going to do it in a Ruby way. So end is going to be oh, you know what? We can do it in just a horrible bash sort of way. Fee. Oh, I hate that. So this is technically correct. And that's how you know. I feel like you should be writing ASM given how much you like GoTo. You know, it's kind of weird considering I've never written real ASM before. But yeah, that's the idea. That's the idea. So this is the syntax. The reason why it can be so simple is because there's no... you cannot assign variables, there's no functions. Everything is predefined for you. So for example, charge and wind up do the same thing, right? It's more just to kind of overwhelm the more to just kind of overwhelm you and how many things there are. So charge is the same thing as wind up, and I'm manually defining all of this, but I'm sure that there's a way I can define like a different file. I'll do some stuff for me. I feel like not using GoTo would require added effort for minimum benefit. Yeah, I think so as well, right? Because otherwise, how would I do loops? I would need to like write in something. You know, I don't have that kind of logic at all. Yeah, but then how would I do? Then the logic would just be extremely just, you know, left to right, top down. So we'll just parse across the line, then top down. So then I have no way to like have a loop, right? Private int loop count 0, and so probably want to undo some of these at the very start as well, or reset these variables. I can move these to a function. Also, false is wrong. Loops, add a loop and break? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. We're in real just crazy town. Crazy town right now. So loop count. I'm gonna sing Bjorn Straussoup. Strup. Bjorn. I don't know. I don't do too much C++. Don't do too much C++. I understand how C++ works, but I'm just... Yeah, actually, does C++ still have GoTo? I think C++ must respect GoTo, doesn't it? Because C has GoTo. Yeah. Okay, cool. Look at that. C++ does have GoTo because C has GoTo, so it must have it. Neat. Look at that. That's neat. Oh no, this is closer to just a assembly, I guess. right? Because assembly, you only have certain fields, right? So in this thing, I'm defining fields that we'll have. So instability is not a writable field, but charge amount, activation time, targets, those are all writable fields. I think that makes sense. And that's also keeping it very simple. And so I am going to be organizing these by just doing region. So these are charge amount modifiers. That makes sense, right? Activation time modifiers. Do I need to do that here though, in the parser? Would that not make more sense to do that in the evaluator instead? I'm unsure. I'm unsure. We'll figure it out. Oh, and then I think I should also do this. So we can do string to using system string to lower. Hey, how do I do? Is that just a built-in to lower? Okay, cool. Just to make sure that we don't mess anything up. Activation time. I'm not sure what I want to do for activation time just yet. I'll have something called like rush, and then whenever we do any of these, we will... Oh man, that's tough. That's tough. I guess we'll do if not is expression, then we can regard that as an error. So these are all the built-in words that we'll want to have. So there's, I guess, rush, which will do a thing. They're all kind of intentionally obtuse to make it hard to understand. So it's, I guess it's more of a programming game than or it's more of a puzzle than a program. That's okay. So rush. What are synonyms for hurrying? Hurry is not a good word to have to write. Ooh, I don't know. Synonyms for rush. For rush dash. No. Bolt. Bolt is good. Dart. My favorites. My other favorite Google language. Actually, that's a bit confusing. I like it. So there's rushing is kind of like charging, but they actually do different things. Hooray. Speed. Zoom. I'm just looking at a thesaurus. Neat. Charge. Carge. Let's see. Case. Demand. I think the idea is that kind of like how magic spells are, you know, kind of represented in media. So you have like Harry Potter is the biggest one for that everyone knows, is like Legardian Leviosa. It's just a bunch of gibberish, right? And then I'm not sure if there's any hard or fast rules around. Actually, is Harry Potter magic like grounded? Right? Like, is it? What was it called? Is it called a it's called hard magic or soft magic system? Or is it like, it's like hard science fiction or soft science fiction, something like that? And the difference between the two is that, yeah. One of them is just kind of like, we say some words and things happen. And then the hard science or hard magic system is like, you need to do this, this, and this to do a thing. You know what? Manga, because I've, as mentioned previously, I am spending a lot of time just waiting to compile. You know which manga has a really good... The story actually kind of sucks, but like the art's really cool, and the magic system is it's like a mix of hard and soft, where like the complicated stuff isn't really explained, but the basics are explained pretty well. It's like a Witch Hat Atelier. Looks like it's pronounced atelier. Atelier. I like the hard science, hard magic systems, which is why I'm doing this. Italian. Isn't it? How do you spell, or how do you pronounce? Isn't that atelier? How do you pronounce this? Adier? Hold on. Atelier, what?
Atelier.
Say it slower.
Atelier.
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 Atelier. No, it's a manga. It's a manga. I'm a weeb. It is French, yeah. It's 100% French, yeah. Atelier. Yeah, the magic system is cool though, yeah. It's grounded. Or it's explained for the simples. I already said that once though. No, that's, you're thinking of like Atelier Ryza, right? Or is this like, this is actually different? Oh, this is actually different. It's not the Ryza one. No, it's, let me see if I can find it. Not encouraging you to read manga for free, but it's this one. Legend of the Shield Hero. It is Rise of, I guess. Witch Hat Atelier, where the magic is actually someone explained at the simpler levels, and then once they start getting more complicated, they're just like, yeah, they use some of these symbols, and they'll show you the symbol, and I'm assuming that you could probably figure it out. Legend of the Shield Hero starts out pretty good. I've dropped it because I don't know, the story just really slows down. It's like, I don't really care. Seems also like a little troubling. Basically hard magic, but the author gave up halfway. Yeah. Well, because it's not the... I feel like the magic system is just kind of there for them to be like, we're running out of things to talk about, so let's talk about the magic, and then they'll go into depth about how it works. But for most of it, it's kind of like, yeah, we created a flying thingy. It's like, how did you do that? Well, we connect the seals, right? We connect, you need to draw like the magic circle, right? So you know, the magic is like, you know, you have some sort of rune in the middle, then you have the modifiers on the outside. Something like that. This is actually how it works. And then if you want to store magic for later, all you need to do is leave it unconnected. And then when you want to use it, then you just connect it, and then boom, magic. And it's like, okay, that's cool. So how did you get this to create a plane, by the way? But yeah, Legend of the Shield Hero, a little troubling because of how Raphtalia is like 100% like a child. Like, it doesn't matter if you don't look like a child or not. It's you know, it's whether or not you're a child is based on your age, not how you look, question mark. PowerPoint is magic, use that. Oh yeah. Just implement PowerPoint in C#, easy. Yes, the 1,000-year-old. No, well, Raptalia is not 1,000 years old. She's like 8, isn't she? But she just looks like she's like 20 something. It's because like if I remember correctly, or it's not Legend of the Shield Hero, it's the Rising of the Shield Hero. 8-year-old MILF. Yeah, I think 8-year-old MILF is more troubling than 1,000-year-old Lolly. There's a pretty significant difference. They're both troubling, but at least one is like, I guess, sure. Technically, you are old. Yeah, but I think it's like, in that manga, when beast men level up, they also look older. So it's like, I don't like that. I think the most messed up is the 1,000-year-old Lolly that acts like a child. Yeah, that is pretty weird as well. Pretty much anything around like, haha, they look like a kid, or they are a kid, but they're definitely not. It's like, is this what kids are into? Or is this what people are into? Don't answer that. The answer is yes, but like, have some respect for yourself and for other people. Yeah, Shield Hero kind of got boring, right? Like I stopped reading it when it got to the points they were going to a different dimension. Also spoilers, by the way, but they go to like a different dimension with other heroes. And it's like, what happened to the original cast? Where are we again? Like, I don't care about anyone here. Like, we've stopped talking about the main characters like a while ago. Respect for other people. Well, you know. All that kind of stuff. And all that jazz, etc., etc. Targets. Select. Alright, cool. Then, so we have a few things. So there's your standard built-in atoms, there's your charge amount, there's your activation time, there's your target selection. I have no respect for people who watch anime. Yeah, I was about to say, I thought you were also a weeb. Like there's a lot of good anime out there for sure. I think there's also a lot of like super degenerate anime as well. You can tell a lot about a person by their choice of like what they choose to watch. Standalone. Like I think if you watch Ghost in the Shell, you have pretty good taste. Not bad. Not bad. If you watch, I don't know, what's the like the dragon maid thing that I sometimes see on like r/ like anime memes? It's just like, what the heck is this, dude? Where if you watch K-On! And you liked it, guess what? You should probably check yourself into the nearest psych ward as soon as possible. You're pretending to have good taste. It's totally really me. Yeah. I don't know. Like I think if you like slice of life, and it's like literally just like people living their life, and it's just like, oh, it's cute, I guess. It's like, maybe go outside, touch some grass. I don't know. You know? Like, please just let there be like a message or something, not just like, oh, it's cute. 12-year-old me doesn't understand Ghost in the Shell. Ghost in the Shell? I don't know. It's a bit weird. It's a bit weird for sure. It's I don't know if it really took that much to understand at least Ghost in the Shell 1. Ghost in the Shell 2 was a bit more abstract for sure. And also like a bit worse. If not is expression, then this is an error, right? So we should return expressions. and then, you know, error on token, whatever the heck this one is. So we'll do a bit of string formatting here. So string formats, error message. Ooh, I guess it's just token, right? We just slap it in there. Is this how this works? One of these. Yeah. 2 is way over. I gotta read. Yo, 2? I've seen Ghost in the Shell 1 like 3 times. I've only watched Ghost in the Shell 2 once. Ghost in the Shell 1, like, it's still really good. It's still very good. Holds up a lot among multiple rewatches for sure. Like, I don't feel bad about rewatching movies. Because it's like, I could watch 1 Netflix episode, or I could watch 2 Netflix episodes of like Dark. I still need to start watching Squid Game, or I can watch 1 really good movie that I know that will be good. If not is expression, then we'll do a thing. Otherwise, all of these should build up to expressions, probably. I wonder. That's a bit tough. That's a bit tough. That's a bit tough. So this is an expression of expressions. Oh, you know what? I still have not actually implemented the expression yet. Oh, but since it's going to be an expression of expressions... All right, you know what? I think only atoms will be... This will be a class. Welcome to the team. And so an expression can contain a list of other expressions if necessary. Yeah, I think Ghost in the Shell, very good. Psychopaths, also very good. Psychopaths 1 is very good. Psychopaths 2 is kind of a snoozer. Where I think they're somewhat similar in setting. Actually, no they're not. Oh, they kind of are, right? It's like a hyper, like, technologically advanced society. Psychopaths is more of about surveillance, whereas Ghost in the Shell is like what makes you human or something like that. Yeah, Psychopaths, highly recommend watching the first season. It's good. It's good. I'm trying to remember good moments from it though, and I'm kind of struggling. Yeah, it's about surveillance. I think it actually feeds more into what we do today, right? It's about like, I think social credit is actually one of the big things in the show. Where it's like, you know, spoilers. You can be, I guess, have you ever seen, oh no, what's it called? Ah, no, is it called Total Recall? Is that the movie Total Recall with Tom Cruise in it? Actually, is that Tom Cruise? It's not Total Recall. What is the thing I'm thinking about? Oh yeah, no, it's not Total Recall. It's what's it called? So they have the like 3 people in a tank, and they're able to like a big bathtub, right? And they're trying to they can see the future somewhat, so they look for people who are about to do crimes, and then so you can be arrested for just thinking about a crime or thinking about doing a crime, and so they live in a perfect society. What's that one called? Minority Report. It's Minority Report. Minority Report. Yeah, that one had Tom Cruise in it. Yeah. So it's if you've seen Minority Report, it's like the anime version of anime or Minority Report, somewhat. So Psychopaths 1, I would say it's like anime Minority Report. Yeah. So Minority Report, they have people who all just kind of sit in a tub, who may or may not be there out of their own free will, who can see crimes that are about to happen, and then they send in the police to gank them. And so Psychopaths is similar to that, except they don't use like magic people. They just have like a big computer. Yeah, it's a good show. It's a good show. It deals with like almost the same thing. It's like you can't be. It's hard to, I don't know, like determine that about a person, right? It's like, are you going to be a bad person? I don't think so. I don't think you can make that kind of judgment, but it's hard to say. Like, do you believe in, you know, would you rather let a guilty person walk free as opposed to, you know, sentencing an innocent person for a crime? And I guess that's not what Minority Report really goes around. I think Minority Report is more about free will. I need to find time to build a system to find me time to watch this stuff. I could write one of those in Godot. I think that was actually something I was like thinking about one of these days. Was, you know, what if you just wrote like a web server just with base Godot? Like, yeah, Godot allows for, you know, in making GET requests, POST requests, but could you use it as a web server, just like accepting incoming connections and then responding to them? I don't think anyone's done that. That's for games and multimedia applications. No, I will continue to abuse Godot until I get bored of it. Don't take that out of context. So what do we want for expressions, right? So you can have a list of atoms. So this will have public list of atoms is equal to a new list of atoms. Yeah. And then we'll hit it with an explicit constructor just in case. Yeah, there we go. So for pretty much anything besides default, we'll have to create a new expression. And so let's see. Var current expression. Ooh, no, we don't want to do that. You played Super Hot and Hotline Miami. I've watched people play Super Hot and I've beaten Hotline Miami. And I think I've also beaten the after story as well. I don't think I've 100%ed it, but I've played the one that had it's the guy wearing the helmet and he throws knives. Yeah. You played their baby Super Hotline Miami. Isn't it just Hotline Miami 2? No? Super Hotline Miami. What is this? What is this? There's an itch.io. Ooh. I'm not gonna play it on stream. Maybe though. Maybe later. I guess like the Super Hotline Miami, it plays like Hotline Miami, except like time doesn't move unless you move your mouse. Right? Is that the idea? It's basically like top-down Super Hot. Yeah. That's basically it. Yeah. Expression. Alright. So we're making very bad use of this, by the way. You know, like it's basically top-down. I'm not sure how I do it. I know that Godot. How do you slow down physics? I guess you just wouldn't have any physics. I know that Godot has an option to slow down the tick rate, if that's what you're asking about. I think. Isn't it like physics? I've seen it before. I've seen it before. Or is it like tick rate? Time? Wait. I've seen it before. Time scale. Although I don't remember if time scale affects physics or not. I feel like it does, but maybe it doesn't. But I think that's how you would do it in Godot, is that you would mess with the time scale instead of like manually messing with each and every like physics step. Although you could also do that. Time scaling is easy except for the physics. Yeah, I'm not sure if this affects physics or not. I feel like it does, but I don't remember. Oh, anyways, I'm past time. So let's start to get out of here. Also, goodbye, Deathball. I'll check back on your repository later. Thanks for the injecting a Trojan into my system. Also, I'm not going to use Godot. Well, that makes it a bit harder then. Let's see. Start work on skill parser. Make changes to battle screen. Be able to play via the browser, hopefully. Well, you know, if you just made it in Godot, you get a WebAssembly for free. Yeah. I wish you luck on that. I like Godot. I like Godot. I like visual. I like the visual elements. If I ever feel like I'm too far in over my head, I can just go back and just stare at a blank screen for a little bit and be like, oh, I could do it at this level, but I'm not going to. And then we can dive back in. But anyways, thanks for tuning in. I'll be live tomorrow from 9 to 11 p.m. Eastern time. Probably working on this again, most likely. Yeah. You know, give the channel a follow if you haven't already. I have a Discord here if you want to check that out. Pretty much everything you see on screen, I made it. So I made this thing. Look at that. See you later, knock. This is not stream avatars. I also made this. Both of these things are made in Godot. Free and open source, available on my GitHub, which is linked in my description down below, or you can also just use the bot like that. Hooray. The bot is also free and open source, written in Go, not Godot. Yeah, friendly potato stream, open cpage GD. Yeah, let's find someone to raid, I guess. Who else is doing Godot? Go to browse. Oh. Let's see. Let's raid. Let's raid. Let's raid Arrow. Alright, anyways. Thanks for tuning in. Looks like Arrow X is working on their procedurally generated tower defense in Godot, so that should be cool. Yeah, I'll be live tomorrow from 9 to 11 p.m. Eastern time. Do the channel follow, join the Discord. Yeah, that's about it. Goodbye.